Hello Linux fans, Rob here, and welcome to Linux Quest. Today we're going to take a look around at the September release of EndeavourOS. It's the first time I've actually taken a look at Endeavour. For those of you not familiar with this distro, its roots or origin came from EndeavourOS, which was at one time my favorite Linux, Arch-based Linux distro, and some people called it an installer. I always tagged it as a distro. Nevertheless, sad to say that project shut down, but there were members of the community who picked up the pieces, and thankfully we have EndeavourOS. Arch for some people is not the easiest thing to wrap their head around, and to actually have a system where you can install graphically or with a graphic user interface is much easier for many people as opposed to starting from scratch and doing everything in the terminal. So there's been a September release, so I figured it was time to jump on and look around. I've got this installed on my test system, which is a Dell laptop, all Intel based Dell laptop. So some of the updates here include a Linux kernel 5.2.14, Mesa 19.16, System D243, Firefox 69. They've added in these ArcX icons, and we'll take a look at some of the themes. There's not a whole lot here. This is a light distro. It come in at the ISO was at like 1.6 gigs, installed relatively quick as well. So there's a new EndeavourOS welcome launcher, which we'll take a look at on both the live environment and the installed system. You'll see it, if you're booting live. There's now an NVIDIA installer installed by default. GTOP system monitor has been added in, and they've taken care of some of the bugs. I don't know what the previous bugs were. As I said, this is the first time I'm taking a look at this. And then general cleanup. They go on to mention that there's still some upstream bugs with Calamares, the installer, but I had no issues whatsoever. In fact, the last time I tried to tried to install EndeavourOS, I wound up with all kinds of issues with Calamares, and it kind of soured me to even use that because of the number of issues. And early on with EndeavourOS, that was never a problem for me, and then I started to notice in the forums more and more people experiencing those problems. So anyway, all right, let's jump from there. Let's go over here to the welcome screen real quick. I think they've got a pretty nice website going through and kind of sharing their philosophy of what the OS is about and why it exists. If you read on through the first page, you'll see that they're not targeting Endeavour for newbies, for Linux newbies or new users. And one of the reasons that they're not is they're kind of picking up the pieces with some of the community who, most of the community were more experienced Linux users on the Arch side. But what you're not going to find is a graphics package installer. So we'll talk about some of that. Here's the greeter. So your first tab here is install, so you could start the installer. So if you've booted live, you'll click here, and that will start up the Calamares install process. Release info, installation tips, troubleshoot, and a partition manager, so you could launch into gparted if you need to go in and partition your disk and that kind of thing. Or see you later and don't show me anymore. Then if we go over here to general info, you could launch right into their website, the wiki, the forum, download the ISO, and I think, let's see, wait a minute. Why would you have download? Yeah, it's going to take you to the download page. That's kind of strange because you'd think you would have already downloaded this if you're booting into this. Maybe there's another reason behind it. Anyway, news. So that pop you right into what we just looked over earlier. Donate, of course, that's important. And then system update, package management, the AUR, and yay. So what you're going to find, we'll go ahead and spend a minute with that. What you're going to find is you're going to do your package installs through Yay, and it's straightforward. So you launch right into terminal, which is already pre-pinned here in the panel. And by the way, this is the XFCE desktop. There are many desktops to choose from on here. I believe GNOME, KDE, all the known Linux desktops, and It's just a matter of going through the install process once you've installed from XFCE. So I believe the way it works is your base install is going to be XFCE, and then from there they step you through the process of updating to any additional desktops. So here, for example, you would type in yay space -s. I'll cheat here and just copy that since I've got everything set up right in front of me the way I do. And then you would go in and type your package. So in this case, I installed PMAC Classic. And once you do that, it'll step you through the process. And then you will see that you have, I believe under settings here, well, let's see here. You'll see that you have add remove software, and then you can graphically go in and do a search for the packages and that kind of thing. So that's a one-time step. Once you've done that, then you've got PMAC in place. You know, I guess people could argue, why don't you go ahead and install this? That's just not their plan for this particular distro. They're gearing, I think, this more towards the community that was the EndeavourOS user, and they are not focusing towards new Linux users. So they just see that yay is the easy way that you could use through the terminal to install packages that you already know. Now, if you are someone new and you just want to experiment with this, the step I just showed you here will allow you to install this, and then you can go in and search by group. Maybe you don't know exactly what you're looking for. You just know in particular category that you want something to do with you know, graphics or photos or something like that. Then you can go through and search. So if you searched image, you should pull up, let's see here what you get. So you're going to get image scan, image magic, that kind of thing. Or you could be more exact with what you're wanting to search, just like other package managers. It's certainly not a software store where you have categories in place and things like that. So that may make it easier for some of you. All right, so we'll move on from there. And then let's just kind of jump around and take a look. It's like I said, it's a light distro. Not a whole lot pre-installed, and I kind of like that. It's kind of like KDE Neon, where you get kind of a bare bones starter system, if you will, and then you add to it as you know, what you see fit, what your needs are, and just build on it. And I kind of like that. So to kind of recap on some things here, the install process was very easy. It seemed pretty fast compared to, say, you know, Linux Mint or Ubuntu. And again, it's because you're not installing a tremendous amount under accessories. You know, you got Screenshot Tool, Task Manager, File Manager, XFburn, Clipboard Manager, Clipman, Calculator, things like that. Just Icon Browser under development. Under graphics, you have Ristretto Image Viewer. That's it. Under Internet, you've got Firefox as the default browser. Transmission here. GFTP for multiple file transfer protocol, to be exact. Multimedia, we've got Parole and Pulse Audio. Simple Screen Recorder is what I installed to do this video, and then there's XFburn again. Nothing under the Office category as far as no LibreOffice or anything like that. They're just going to leave that up to you to install what you like. And then if we go under settings, let's go ahead and drag this up. That's one of the things I was happy to see here. You've got the whisker menu in place. To me, that's one of the great parts of the XFCE desktop is the whisker menu. So if we go under to appearance, not a lot in the way of styles here. Arc and high contrast Raleigh, so just not a lot added there. Again, and these are the Arc X icons they were talking about. And they've got a nice appearance, kind of flat, if you're into that. And you've got paper, which is probably a little more flat. I don't know. We'll just have to take a look and compare. Full hinting and everything on. The fonts look decent. So again, not a lot there under appearance, not a lot of pre-installed. Overall, the look is good. I mean, it's kind of, you know, bluish green tint here, so you've kind of got to like that. Not a lot of theming going on with the whisker menu. This is certainly not going to be, you know, full-featured, ready to roll for all users alike, such as Manjaro, where you would see a lot more pre-installed. You'd see a lot more theming and everything going on, and this isn't designed to be that. So I kind of like what I'm seeing as far as the sparseness, the lightness of the distro. It is really different than EndeavourOS in that when you're installing, there's no choice of desktop, there's no choice of additional software to install or anything like that. And quite frankly, that might be some of what the problem was with the Calamares installer as far as EndeavourOS is concerned. All right, so let's keep on moving here. Settings, add remove software. Again, that's what I installed via PMAC. And then your typical window settings and things like that, which I'm not going to get into here simply because it's just going over the XFCE desktop. Let's pop into HTOP here. Mind you, I am recording at cold boot. I think I came in right around 470 megabyte at cold boot before I launched into recording or anything like that. So very respectable, very light, which you'd expect. Right click here, we can go right into desktop settings. Again, this is more XFCE. We'll see what they've got in wallpaper. So pretty good selection there. But again, not a lot. Under menus and icons, those are your standard settings. And I believe this is the latest release. And as a matter of fact, I didn't read over that, but I'm pretty sure this is the latest release of XFCE as well. It's certainly snappy. We'll take a look over here at Thunar. So that's looking good. Actually, that is a nice arc theme. That's a typical arc theme that you see. Nice look to it. And Thunar is certainly capable. Everything's very fast and responsive. Now I've got 8 gigs of RAM on this system with a Core i5 on the laptop, so it's not a a super slouch or anything. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing to talk about as I'm just looking through here. Color profiles, nothing really stands out. Oh, wait a minute, let's see. There was, well, it's right over here. So you'll see this will launch at system startup. It's Kalu. So this is how you upgrade your Arch-based system. So you've got system upgrade, upgrade simulation, check for upgrades. So we'll go through that process real quick. You'll see that icon flashing there. And we should get a report back here. There we go. 2 updates available. Well, they just came available because as I installed this evening, I checked upgrades. That was the first thing I did, was check on upgrades. We're not going to go through that process now, but yep, they apparently are very recent. So they've got the icons here. Well, I can tell you right now that this is the latest XFCE because these icons are a consistent size in this area here of the panel, and that's something new to XFCE is you can adjust that icon size, and I can tell that they've done that over standard. Desktops here. Let's see here if there's anything under panel preferences that's different. Span monitors. So wait a minute, let's see here. Row size, number size, length, lock panel. Actually, it's going to be right here. So this is new. Adjust size automatically, or you can go in and adjust that fixed icon size yourself. So they had as default adjust size automatically, but if we wanted to bump that up to 22, that's about where it was on automatic, or perhaps you want those down a little smaller, you've got that control there. And again, that's part of XFCE, so you're going to find that with any distro that's got the latest XFCE desktop on it. So, but overall, very snappy. If you're someone into, well, don't know why I opened that up. If you're someone into Arch and you're looking for an easier way to install Arch and you want to explore and kind of build up something on your own and really use it as a basis to build up an OS, this would be, to me, a quick and easy way to do it. Again, it's not a Manjaro where everything's all set up and themed out and ready and chock full of what they deem as useful software as what they see as a complete system. Here, again, I would say if you're a brand new user to Linux, this is probably not the first distro you want to jump into, although I think with their welcome screen and some of what I've seen on their website and their forum, and a very friendly community, and as they list on their website, there are no dumb questions. I think they're wanting to encourage that friendly community feeling, and they're eager to help you along the way. So if you want to experience that and go through that process with setting this up, I think Endeavour is going to be a good way to go there, just based on what I'm seeing on the feedback side of things from the community. All right, go ahead and cut this short. Again, first look for me. I have no experience as far as how well this runs or any glitches or anything. I literally just installed this, and I'll leave it on here and mess around with it, I'm sure, for several days. And if I find anything crazy or anything crashes, which I do not expect, I'll report back. But otherwise, it just seems fast and fluid and stable and quick and easy to install. All right, that's it for now. We'll wrap it up. And as always, thanks for watching.